Have you ever wanted to start a business or like better your life or do anything other than what you're currently doing? That's probably why you clicked on this video, and this is the best video to click on because I'm going to show you exactly what you need to know in order to start your business, better your life, and become a better person. My name's Steven. I make this channel because I don't want you to be a silly pants, because I've been a silly pants, and being a silly pants fucking sucks. And what I mean by silly pants, I'm about to explain the whole thing. You want to start your business, you don't know how. Let's talk exactly what you need to do. All right, so here's your day. So here, I'm just going to write the word day so you understand that this is the day we're talking about here. And you have things that you do in your day. And so maybe you go to work and you exercise or you go to the gym, whatever. And then when you're not at the gym or working, you're playing video games, and then also you are watching porn. Yeah, which that's like 15, 20 minutes of time, depending on whatever. All right, watching porn or fucking, I don't know, eating junk food and sleeping. You're sleeping. That's all you do, okay? Yeah, this is going to get really personal. If this is your life, this is the kind of person you are. You work and you maybe exercise, but the rest of the day you're playing video games, watching porn, and sleeping. And then you wonder why you don't feel happy all the time and you're sad and you feel unconfident. It has to do with the things you do every day, okay? And this is really, I'm being a little extra. If you watch my videos, I'm not usually this extra, but I'm very adamant about this. You understand, okay? Here are the things you allocate your time to. All of this is time. This is time spent. I don't have the time to start my business. Bullshit, because everyone has time. You have 24 hours every single day. This is time you allocate things to. All right, now here's the thing about all this. This doesn't necessarily give you fuel. You need fuel in order to light fire, in order to create friction and to take off and do great things with your life. You need fuel, all right? And video games and porn do not bring you fuel. Sleeping does bring you fuel, and work brings you money, and exercise brings you fuel. But I guarantee there's other things that you do with your day that's not working on the thing you want to do. Because in order to start your business, and this is the main point of this video I want you to understand, you cannot add something to your life without first subtracting. This is how you spend your time. These are your proclivities. The first thing that you must do is subtract these things from your life. And I'm going to tell you how, but I'm also going to tell you why, because why is exactly how you do this. He who bears any why can bear any how, right? Friedrich Nietzsche, right? Or however you say his name. He who can bear any why can bear any how. Let's figure out the why. Why do you need to do this? If you try to add doing your business to this stuff, right, you don't have any more space. You want to start your business. These are the things you do. And then you try to add your business. You're right. You don't have any fucking time because you spend your time doing other things. Now, some of those other things might not necessarily be good. And that's kind of what I want to run through in this video. It's very important for you to understand. The way to get started is to subtract. And once you're able to free up your time, then you can start adding things on. And you can also think clearer, right? Some of these things are garbage for your brain and they're bad for you. And I'm going to explain why and why exactly you need to stop them in order to start your business. First thing I want you to understand from this is that your brain is logical, okay? And your brain wants to survive. Your brain also has a reward system. It's a dopaminergic system that brings in dopamine. Dopamine is a reward chemical that you get for completing a task, okay? So every single time you complete a task or you do something that your brain feels like it should give you a reward for, you get a reward. Like taking drugs, you get a reward because you get the sensation, you have the feeling, right? So let's just use social media as an example. So if you have, like if you're watching TikTok all the time, TikTok videos are created in order for you to see a reward. That's how you get, the people get to watch your stuff. Like people watch your stuff, people watch my stuff and other people's stuff because they get some form of reward from it in their head. TikTok algorithm is selected so that you get as many rewards as possible for every single video that's completely finished, which I'm going to tell you, it's hook value reward. That's how videos are created. Here are the top 5 reasons you suck as a person. And when you get to the end, you're like, those top 5 reasons were good. You get a hit of dopamine in your brain, right? So with TikTok, say you watch 30 TikToks, these little dots are hits of dopamine, right? You get 30, these are 5 hits of dopamine, 5 videos, right? Now, say you sit there for an hour and a half and you watch, 90, 200 fucking videos on TikTok. You get 200 hits of dopamine, right? Now, if you go to the gym, you might only get 3 hits of dopamine in an hour. Again, we're not trying to replace, we're going to subtract, but I'm just saying, understand that you aren't going to enjoy this because you get hits of dopamine from other things. Your brain thinks logically. It gets a reward for doing stupid shit. And so your brain's going to continue to want to do stupid shit to get the reward that it gets, right? I know that if I watch 90 videos, I will get 90 hits of dopamine, okay? And your brain, like it's not interesting anymore, right? The dopamine that you get, it doesn't hit as hard because your body's used to it, right? It's the same thing as like doing drugs or drinking alcohol or anything. After a while, you start to gain a tolerance for it. You don't want to gain a tolerance for dopamine. You want to actually feel accomplished when you get a dopamine hit. And that is how you can start a business. Because if 2 hours goes by and it takes you that much time to set up your website and your domain and all that stuff, you get the dopamine hit at the end, but you enjoy the dopamine hit. But if you always have fucking TikTok in your brain cluttering up your system, you're going to have half your focus on TikTok and half your focus on the business, half your focus on video games, half your focus on the business. Video games help you want to survive, want to compete. Same thing with the business. So you're going to be balancing 50-50 video games and the business for your intrinsic need to attack and make things happen. So I'm going to talk to you about, in order, what I believe the things you need to quit doing. And then after you quit doing those things, then you will have more, I promise you, you'll feel more energetic, you'll have more time, you'll feel better. And then on top of that, you can actually make serious decisions. This is about decision making. That's what business is. You're an adult, you have to make decisions, hard decisions. And sometimes those hard decisions are quit my 9-to-5 and go all in on my business, right? But you need to have the proper headspace to do that. And if you're constantly getting hits of dopamine and having all these different things in your environment that's distracting you from the real thing, your purpose, the person you want to become, you'll never get there. So let's first talk about the things we need to subtract from our life. And I wrote these in order of importance, meaning the top one is the least important and the bottom one is the most important. In my opinion, this is subjective, but I'm going to try to run through these as quickly as possible here. So TV gives you dopamine, lots of dopamine, and it keeps you focused on something that's not real. Right? Do you ever go to the movies and then you see him, like, after the end of the movie, like, walk out of the theater and you're like, I'm the main character of that movie? Maybe that's you. That's me. I think that's a very masculine trait. Like, you see a Spider-Man movie and you're like, man, if only I was Spider-Man. You think about, like, the troubles that the character went through in the movie and the development. You are adopting yourself to the character in that movie. And it might be for a short period of time, but believe me, I've done serious critical thinking about my personal self in my entire life. And I've come to find out that half of the character that I am, the person that I am, is derived from movies and films and crap from my childhood, right? And let me just help you out. If you struggle with women, let's look at Hollywood and how they have this thing where women are on a pedestal and men are down here. And in every movie, the hero comes in and he swoops up the girl and then she changes her mind, but he, like, low-key stalks her. Yeah. Maybe, like, you can maybe attribute some of your lack of confidence around women to movies, to how they make men in movies look, right? That's just one example of why I think TV is such a bad thing. Is like, they're indoctrinating you in their beliefs, okay? Fuck what the TV thinks. You need to find your own beliefs. And I'm going to get more into that later in the video. But this is wasting time. So, again, if you have your day and you watch TV for 3 hours a day, that's 3 hours a day you could be spending on your business. But if you subtract the TV out of it, then you just have time to think. So if you get rid of TV, and I would recommend picking one of these things that I'm going to show you, I'd probably start with TV if that's your problem, and spend 30 days not doing that thing. Just don't do it, like, for 30 days. And then add the next thing on top of that. And if you start slowly but surely in a 6-month period, you will have nothing in your way of doing business. So that's the first one. The second one, this one is a little bit more serious. It's going to get worse as we go. Video games. And I don't want you to take any of these lightly. I don't want you to think that, like, these don't matter, but the bottom ones do. Every fucking one of these is ruining your ability to become a business owner or to do great things with your life. I promise. Video games. Like I had said before, you have a survival instinct and you have a drive to attack and to conquer. And what video games does is it takes that from you, and your dopaminergic system does not understand, right? So if you want to make 10K a month in your business, but you also want to get all your SMG's diamond on Call of Duty, your brain will not be able to tell which one's more important. You can consciously think it, but logically your brain doesn't understand. It just knows that you want to achieve these rewards in both systems. However, you get quicker rewards from working in Call of Duty to get diamond camo for your SMGs. The reward comes quicker. It's a lot more interesting, right? And so your brain is going to naturally want to curve towards playing Call of Duty. If you stop playing video games, then your brain wants to focus on other means of survival and other mechanisms to conquer, right? I want to create the most badass marketing agency that has ever existed in this entire world. And I'm not going to do that playing video games, all right? However, when I used to play video games, I wanted to be the best player and get the most kills and do everything and be fucking amazing. But as soon as I stopped playing video games, I started focusing on the business and I actually started achieving results. Another thing too, like, I used to, like, rage all the time when I played video games. If you are playing the game and then you realize that it's no longer important, because it's not, you don't get any level up in real life from playing video games. You're just a fucking loser. Your girlfriend hates you. Don't try to go in the comments and tell me I'm wrong, because I know for a fact if you play fucking video games, that's why your girlfriend hates you. Sorry. You are fucking yourself by playing video games. You rage and you get all fucking emotional. And the thing that happens here, this is an interesting thing I want you to understand. The emotions that are not interesting, that you don't want to, I forgot what it's called. There's like this is a little side tangent, but there's like this little frequency chart for emotions. And so I think wisdom, or is it like knowledge or something? There's a higher form. There's a higher emotion hold on. I'm gonna look at this really quickly. So just quick fucking side tangent here. It's enlightenment. So this is on the higher end of the emotional frequency chart. This is the top of the emotional frequency chart, and it is purple. Which, if you're familiar with how frequencies work, red is like really like strong frequencies, and purple's the other end of the spectrum. It's the cool side of the spectrum. And over here is shame. That's the last one, and then somewhere in the middle is like anger. Okay. Emotional frequencies. When you're feeling enlightenment, that's how the wavelength looks. Anger is more choppy, right? Like this. And shame is like this, right? Now, I don't know like exactly how I would explain this, but my thought process here is like every single one of these ups and downs is a thought, right? And so you just like, you ever just feel like, I don't know, kind of like anxious, right? When you're anxious, you're kind of like jittery and a little like scared. You're not in flow state. Your brain is fucking freaking out because the frequencies are so high. Shame, which we're going to talk about when it comes to jerking off, which is on here, is probably one of the worst feelings you can ever feel as a man in your entire life, is shame and guilt. And those are the two bottom ones in the emotional frequency chart. You can look this up. It's a very interesting topic. That's because your emotions are so choppy. Enlightenment isn't that way. It just makes, I don't know, it makes sense to me. Like maybe I'm trying to explain this. It just makes sense. Like when you're enlightened, you're at peace. Doesn't this look more peaceful than this? I don't know. Video games tend to make you angry, right? Tend to make you feel guilt, shame, those kind of emotions. You do not want those emotions. How are you supposed to operate a business when your brain waves are going like this? You can't. But if your brain waves look like that, you can operate a business. That was a little side tangent, but again, subtract and then add. You need to make more time for the shit that's important. And if you have a bunch of crap that you're doing all day, you cannot fucking succeed. I gotta pull my notes up again because I had to look that shit up. That's gangster, bro. If you like this video, because I'm gonna keep going, it's gonna get even better. Fucking subscribe. Leave a like, comment, everything. Do it all, because it's an amazing video that I'm making for you. This is groundbreaking. Porn, I just talked about this. If you watch porn and you jerk off, you will have shame and guilt, and you lower your testosterone too, on top of that, which is the most important part. You are lowering your testosterone. And so what happens is you don't want to fight. Like, just look at it like this. If you castrate an animal, right, does that animal run around anymore, or does it just sit around all day and do nothing, right? They're excited. They want to do things. They want to be better. They want to conquer. And you castrate an animal and they do not feel that way anymore. And it's the same thing with you. You are getting rid of your sexual fluids. I don't know, whatever. You're getting rid of that part of you, right? And you're releasing testosterone. And what happens is you become a more docile fucking creature. You ever like TMI, but when you finish, like, don't you want to fucking fall asleep, right? Yeah. It's because when you're jerking off, first of all, that's the case, is like testosterone is lowered. But also on top of that, the way you look at women is you put women on a pedestal and you put everything on a pedestal. You lose your confidence by jerking off, right? Like, I like to say it like this. It's very obvious when someone's jerked off recently. You can tell by the way they walk. They like kind of hunch their shoulders and they're very like this, uptight, very unconfident, won't look people in the eyes, won't smile, won't do things like that. And it's because they've been bitched. They've been cucked out of their testosterone, okay? And so, yes, women can tell, like, naturally in the back of their mind, they can tell when you jerked off recently, okay? And why would you be confident? Like, this is going to get really fucking intense, what I'm about to say. But why would anyone want to talk to you? Why would you ever feel confident around anybody when you literally had fucking nut on your hand like 2 hours ago, bro? Seriously. And you were looking at videos of women that you don't even know, that your brain is assuming that you've had sex with, but you actually didn't, right? You didn't actually have sex with those women, but your brain can't tell the difference because it's a primal brain. It's a fucking, like, it works off of neutrons. It's not something special, right? So it's primal. It's logical. It thinks that you're having sex with this girl, but you're actually not. Porn is fucking horrible for you. And when you get that out of your life, you can think better because you're not like horny all the time and think, I don't know, like, you have more confidence. You have more confidence when you're not watching porn all day. I can tell you from personal experience. Okay, when I was younger, I struggled with that stuff. And if it's weird to hear, so what, okay? When I was younger, I struggled with that stuff. And as I grew older, that stopped becoming the problem because I stopped doing it. And I noticed an increase in testosterone. I felt happier. I was a better person. I wasn't a docile little bitch that took shit from everybody, okay? Stop watching porn. Very important. When you stop watching porn, you can be a happier person, you can be more energetic, and you can close sales and make money, and that's what a business is. All right, the next one. This is very, very important too. Again, every single one of these are so important. Alcohol and drugs. All right. This is the one that I might have the problem with the most so far on this list. I was actually sober for like almost a year. That's saying a lot. Like last year, I probably drank a grand total of 20 times. In the last month or 2 months, I've actually been drinking a little bit more than usual. I don't really know why. I think like the sun came out, and so I was like, fuck it. Like, let's just have a couple beers. And it slowly started to increase over time. I'm done with that shit. So actually, as of today, I've decided I'm not going to drink for 30 days. The reason I give myself a mark for 30 days is because when you tell yourself I'm going to do it forever, you're going to give up, right? Because forever is a long fucking time. If you say 30 days, after that 30 days is up, you can say, well, I'm just going to go another 30 days without doing that thing. And then you get accustomed to not doing that thing and you no longer do it ever again. This stuff's horrible for you. It's it's literally toxins that you put into your body. You can't think straight. You can't think clearly. You can't absorb knowledge when you drink alcohol. Like, you drink and then you feel like shit the next day and you don't want to do anything. And 9 times out of 10, and this is my personal thing too, that I'll say completely honest with you, the reason that you drink and the reason that you do drugs is because there's something in your life that you don't want to fix and that's making you unhappy. And so the thing that makes you happy is alcohol and drugs. So you prefer to go that route because it gives you instant gratification, like I was talking about at the beginning, because it makes you feel like you're living. You know what's actually living? Being completely sober. Not being on alcohol allows you to be bored. You need to be bored so that while you're bored, you find the thing you need to do and then sell it to people and then make a profit and then get really fucking good at it and sell it to more people, right? And figure out a skill. But you cannot gather a skill when you're doing stupid shit. Video games is not a skill. It's a fucking stupid thing that you're wasting your time on. All right. So, AKA, no one's going to pay you money for you to fucking play video games. Like, you can stream, but no one's going to pay you directly. Like, would you rather have someone pay you 10 grand directly for a skill that you have that is so fucking good that they're literally jumping up and down, calling you 50 times, asking you for your service? That's what you need to work for. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is sugar and complex carbs. All right, this is literally the most important one, honestly, in my opinion, but the other two are really big too. But this is fucking insane. This stuff messes with your brain chemistry. I heard someone say this, I think it was Charlie Morgan. If you have a car and like if you work at a manufacturing for cars and you put different things, so like one car has these type of tires and like this engine and that stuff, and then you get to the next car and you put different tires on and a different engine and different doors and that kind of thing. At the end, would you expect for all the cars to look the same? You wouldn't. Right? Or if you're sitting there wondering, like, why do all these cars look different? It's because your inputs are different, right? You have different tires and different engines and different glass and different door panels, right? That's what your diet is. So if you're eating a crappy diet, and when I say it's a diet that fluctuates a lot, so one day you're eating this thing and the next day you're eating that thing, and then you have a bunch of sugar and carbs, and you have these carb crashes or these sugar crashes, and your brain cannot operate in enlightenment. Remember, enlightenment is like this. Okay, that's the frequency of enlightenment. But if you have all this sugar and carbs, 1 second you feel enlightened for a couple minutes because, or not enlightened, but happy, right? Which is a shorter wavelength because you're on carbs and you're energetic and all that shit. And then slowly you get tired and your energy goes down and that kind of thing. It's too unpredictable. You can't take sugar and carbs and do work. So the way that I do this is I try to only eat complex carbs. So like rice, potatoes, sweet potato, that kind of thing. And I also wait until after about lunchtime, like 12 o'clock, honestly, till the workday is over to eat any carbs. So I haven't eaten today. It's about 2 o'clock right now. I haven't eaten at all. Usually I try to go as long as I can without eating. When I finally do eat, like right now, after this video, actually, I'm about to go eat for the first time today. The only thing I'm going to eat is eggs and like some ham. So just protein. I just do protein. The reason why is because your body is digesting the stuff that you put into it. Digestion is one of the biggest things you can spend your energy on. If you have 100 energy points for the day and you eat first thing in the morning, and especially a bunch of carbs, you spent half of your energy for the day digesting bullshit, like fucking Frosted Flakes, right? And I'm going to be honest, the world tries to program you to do this shit. They always talk about breakfast is the most important meal of the day. All you do, first of all, that's a marketing campaign to sell breakfast meats, but I'm not going to get into that. All that does is use up your energy so you feel lethargic the rest of the day. Why do you think the entire world, everyone walks around like with their head down and they hate themselves? Because they jerk off and eat fucking sugar all day and they drink on the weekends, and all they want to do is get one extra day off this week so that they can go and drink with their buddies and watch the fucking Raiders play. It's stupid, bro. Like, if you really think about it, it's fucking retarded. All right. And I'm getting passionate about this because this shit's important to me. Social media, I've gone over this and talk about this all the time. But I'm going to be very brief on this. This is the biggest fucking time waster in the entire world. And you're getting so much dopamine and so much information that you're processing at the same time. Your brain's like ready to fucking explode. Like, your brain's fried, bro. Stop watching that shit. The videos where it's like the Minecraft parkour or the GTA, like with the car going down. You know what I'm talking about. And then on the top half, it's like whatever you're actually watching, and you're sitting there watching the Minecraft parkour, listening to some streamer talk about something stupid. Your brain is fucking fried. Okay? It is fried. That shit fries your brain. It's awful for you. Okay? As soon as you take these things out of your life, you have time to do the more important stuff, which is business, health, and wellness. I mean, health, wellness, health, wealth, and love, and God. right? You can make room for God, love, health, and wealth if you take all this shit out, and then your life will feel so much fucking better. I promise you from personal experience. The last thing, and this one is the most important, and you can do this little by little. I would suggest sit down and stare at a fucking wall for like 3 hours and figure this shit out for yourself. Beliefs. Your beliefs are the thing that's holding you back the most, okay? And this might hurt your feelings, but I think there's two people in this world. There's winners and there's losers. And losers are victims. They're a victim to the game. They lost the game. They're a loser, okay? That's what makes you a loser. You are a victim, okay? More importantly, we get dopamine from telling people about stuff that we do. And so if you're a victim, you get your dopamine from telling people about how much of a victim you are. Have you ever met anybody who constantly talks about their problems? My girlfriend broke up with me. I broke my arm. My boss is mean to me. And what happens? A lot of times we don't know what to say, or we try to reinforce them and make them feel better. So we say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." You're reinforcing their behavior to continue being a victim, and you should stop doing that. You should not tell people about your problems, because all they're going to do is reinforce your behavior. Unless you have real friends who tell you to go fuck yourself, like me and my friends. Like if I went to my buddy and told him I had a problem, he would help me try to logically fix it, but also try to figure out why I have this problem, and then tell me to quit being a little bitch and get over it. Okay? Your beliefs. Now, victim beliefs. You believe that you're a victim. Why? Figure it out. Like, here's some symptoms of a victim. You hate your life. You blame everyone else for your problems. That's two that I can think of right now. If that's you, be completely honest with yourself. Do you blame other people for the issue that you're in, or circumstances, right? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. It's not working for me. It's the government's fault. It's my mom's fault. It's my dad's fault. It's my dog's fault. I have to talk to my spouse. If that's you, who can't ever make decisions, you're a victim, okay? There's other things involved here too, right? If you believe that rich people are taking money from other people, that's a bad belief that you need to break. There's constantly always beliefs you should break, and my biggest way of doing this is by preventing labels from sticking to whatever beliefs you have. So if you believe, I am not a morning person, change your belief from a binary outcome to a continuum. So instead of I'm not a morning person, it's to what extent am I a morning person, and then reverse your way back and figure out how you can not be a morning person. Because one day you might need to not be a morning person. Motivation. I don't have the motivation. What is motivation? Why does motivation matter? I don't believe in motivation. I think discipline's the thing. Motivation's an extra boost. However, if you're unmotivated but still do the thing, then you are motivated, right? If you are scared in a situation but you remain stoic, you are stoic. That is how it works. And so instead of saying, I don't have the time, you should say, to what extent do I not have the time? Find the things that are fucking preventing you from having the time and fix it. I would stare at a wall and think really hard about what you can subtract from your life to make your life better. And as soon as you start to subtract these things, this is what happens. You have more time, you can think clearly, you can make good decisions. And so then you can actually sit down and start your business. You're also not getting instant gratification. So if it takes you 5 hours to do the fucking work to start your business that daddy didn't tell you to do, and your teacher didn't tell you to do, and your boss didn't tell you to do, yeah, by the way, if you're trying to run a business, you have to do the work yourself. No one's going to come save you, right? You have to have free time and the ability to make positive decisions. When you sit down to do 5 hours of work and none of this other shit can distract you, you will make serious fucking results. But if you still have a drug problem and you sit down to do work and then you say, fuck it, I'm going to smoke some weed really quick. And then you smoke weed and then you get bored and you don't want to do it anymore. And so you say, you know what? I'm going to play some video games. And then you play video games. Your brain is always going to pick the thing that it prefers and that it's done more of. You need to take this shit, eradicate this shit from your life. And that is how you start a business. I know that's not what you wanted to hear. I know you wanted me to tell you like exactly where to go and like how to, what website to go to and where to get started and how to make $1 million in the next week. But I'm not here to tell you that, bro. I'm here to tell you that you have problems in your life that need solving. And then once you fix the hell of your life, you can get to the baseline. And then after that, you can try to find your heaven, right? So yeah, to be honest, that's the video. I know it's being really aggressive today. If you're one of my subscribers currently and you're wondering why I haven't been posting on social media recently or YouTube recently, because I didn't feel like it. So, but I'm back. I'm gonna start posting again. I promise. I'm gonna start posting again probably every day, at least for the next 5 days until I don't feel like it anymore. If that makes you feel bad, I'm sorry. But here we are. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. I'm going to be posting more, I promise. I used to post every day. If you're new to the channel, I used to post every day, but I kind of chilled out recently. If you are a contractor and you're looking to get extra jobs in your calendar every month and build a massive fucking company and you want someone to help you out with it so you have to spend less time doing shit that you don't feel like doing or hiring stupid marketing agencies that don't know what they're talking about and have absolutely no interest in you at all, click the link below because I want to help you out if I can. And if not, then don't worry about it. Have a wonderful fucking day. Stop scrolling on social media because it's stupid.